Live from Studio A, WTLK, The Thunder.
Alright guys, an unnaturally amount of shit ton of stuff has come out this week, so bear with me here between the most insane week of wrestling and also New York Comicon and stuff. Let's get this rolling, okay? Alright, so we finally have an official full-length trailer for Birds of Prey, which was not in front of the showing of Joker that I saw, but I know it was in others, so kind of miffed about that. This Tuesday, the early access in the combat pack for Mortal Kombat 11 will finally get to play as the T-800 Terminator, Old Arnold, and some new costumes and skins for some characters already there, including one I'm most excited about for Cassie Cage, the daughter of Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade, and she'll be Cassie Quinn. And it's exactly how it sounds. It's Cassie Cage as Harley Quinn, and of course, you know I am insane out of my mind about that. So can't wait. It's a good thing there's no SmackDown on Tuesdays anymore, so I have more time to play it. Also, coming in a couple weeks, like October 18th, I believe, at the Void VR locations is a collaboration between Marvel Studios and ILM X Lab called Avengers Damage Control, where you will be put into a suit that was a collaboration between Stark Industries and Wakanda, and it's pretty incredible. It's like a Iron Man suit, but with like sort of nanotechnologies that look more like the Black Panther nanobots than the Iron Man nanobots from Infinity War. And the trailer was narrated and had an actual physical appearance in by Letitia Wright, who of course is Shuri. And yeah, so you can go on that website and book your time and date to go to the Void, to the Void near you. There is one in Atlanta, and anybody that knows me knows I'll go for almost any excuse to Atlanta, especially if it involves wrestling or nerdy shit. Also, a further announcement which makes next summer's Avengers game by Square Enix even more incredible. It's announced that Kamala Khan will be in the game, the current Miss Marvel, and she'll be a playable character, and actually, I mean, she's basically the main character who's trying to get the Avengers back together after A-Day, so get those pre-orders in for Marvel's Avengers. I mean, May 15th, I believe, of next year. Also, get those Hulu subscriptions ready again, and by that I mean the ESPN Plus, Hulu, Disney Plus bundle that I'm eagerly anticipating, because the third season of Runaways, that premieres on December 13th, and they released the official trailer for that, including an appearance at the end by one Ty and Tandy. You know them as Cloak and Dagger, played by the two actors from the TV show Aubrey Joseph and Olivia Holt. Next up, Joker came out this weekend, the only movie to come out this weekend, thankfully. And got to catch it Thursday night, as I said with the Birds of Prey trailer segment, and wow, like I knew what to expect for the most part. Like I knew I wasn't getting a superhero movie, but it was still a very dark and serious and powerful movie concerning mental illness. And while this portrayal of the Joker doesn't really come through with the Joker's intelligence, like it definitely is a wonderful take. This is the dark part of the DC universe that people actually want to see. And of course there's sort of ties in at the end which, I mean, we didn't really need, but, I guess bigwigs at DC want to see it. So, yeah, definitely go see Joker. Joaquin Phoenix will definitely have done his late friend Heath Ledger proud with that performance. Like, wow. Also announced at New York Comicon is untitled The Walking Dead Universe show about a new group of young adults who were born into the zombie apocalypse, and just traces their journey and their point of view as they sort of try to make their way in this world that's the only world they've known, but a new world to everybody else, at least one generation older than them. It looks okay. Also, at the Walking Dead panel at New York Comic Con, a mysterious panelist came in wearing a Negan jacket and a Jason Voorhees mask. And when they were unmasked, it was revealed to be Lauren Cohan, who's played Maggie since season 2, and she wasn't in the show for pretty much the back half of last season. And it was always open for her to return to the show, and she left because she needed a break, and she was doing Whiskey Cavalier. But since that show is canceled, sadly, because I personally really enjoyed that show, yeah, she's gonna be back, which is amazing, and definitely much needed since Andrew Lincoln's gone as a regular. He'll be back in like movies and spin-offs and what have you, and Denai Guerrera's gone after this season, so Lauren Cohan's coming back at just the right time, hopefully just the right time. And speaking of Walking Dead, I guess by the time you're listening to this it already happened, but as of this recording on Sunday afternoon, we're gearing up for an epic premiere night. We've got, of course, the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, which will be covered much later in this episode. We've got the season premiere of The Walking Dead, season 10. We've got the season premiere of Supergirl, which is season 5 or 6? Can't remember. Or maybe it's 4? No, it's got to be 5. I don't know. But that new season is premiering. And also it's the series premiere of Batwoman. Ruby Rose stepping into her own as major lead actor. Get it. So, now that we have said comic book and what have you news over with, bear with me here, because I don't think I'm going to go into much explanation with any particular thing of what happened in these wrestling shows, because there's so much. So bear with me here. Raw season premiere. It's got a new set and new commentators, because everything's changing with Raw or SmackDown and NXT. So they figure, fuck it, we'll give Raw a facelift too. And the set looks amazing because it looks like that wall from American Ninja Warrior that they run up. In fact, Ricochet tweeted that his girlfriend Casey Catanzaro should be drafted to Raw because she could do a lot of great things on that, and she was amazing on American Ninja Warrior, so I mean, it just makes sense here. Also, the new commentators were Dio Madden, who only really did a few weeks of 205 Live, Vic Joseph, and Jerry the King Lawler's back. At least for now. No word on his replacement. It was rumored Tom Phillips, who had been a commentator on SmackDown Live, would be taking his place, but he's actually been sort of revealed to be joining NXT UK. It started out with Rey Mysterio, who went out to the ring to speak leading up to his Universal Championship match with Seth Rollins. Then Brock Lesnar came out and just destroyed Rey and pulled his son Dominic from the audience and destroyed him as a message to Kofi Kingston for Friday. And Dominic had to be put in a stretcher and driven to the hospital, and of course Rey, being the great father he is, left and withdrew from the Universal Championship match. Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode defeated Heavy Machinery and retained the Raw Tag Team titles. Cesaro was being a dick about Rey Mysterio's situation, so Ricochet challenged him and won. AJ defended the United States Championship against Cedric again for like the third time. It's just like, just give Cedric the belt or don't. I mean, AJ Styles wants a easier schedule. Just give it to Cedric and send AJ to NXT for reasons that will be revealed later. So Miz TV had Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan, and they of course pretended to get into it and decided they'll face each other at Crown Jewel on Halloween. Why do you have to have a pay-per-view on Halloween? So they'll pick a team of 5 to fight along with team captains. Seth Rollins is the captain of Team Hulk, and Randy Orton is the captain of Team Flair. Randy Orton picked King Corbin as his first selection, and they ganged up on Seth Rollins. And then Rusev, of all people, came to Seth's rescue, joined Team Hulk, and became the new challenger for the Universal Championship. The Viking Raiders defeated Anderson and Gallows. Sasha defeated Alexa with Nikki Cross and Bayley barred from ringside, but Sasha pretended like she was calling for Bayley, which distracted Alexa, and she snuck in the win. And during said match, she had a shouting match with Becky, who was sitting at commentary. And then, as the main event, Seth took on Rusev for the Universal Championship. And then Bobby Lashley, who hasn't been seen since Extreme Rules, came out with Rusev's wife, Lana, and they started making out in front of Rusev, which just blew up the internet. And then the lights went out, and then the Fiend attacked Seth and ended the show. Wednesday on NXT was the full 2 hours on the USA Network premiere, and it started out with Adam Cole defeating Matt Riddle to retain the NXT Championship, and then afterwards, Finn Balor, who hasn't been seen since The Fiend ate him alive at SummerSlam, came out and announced he's back on NXT, which is why I'm saying, let AJ lose the belt and come to NXT so we can have Undisputed Era versus the full-on OC, because it's just not complete without Finn Balor. Also, fun fact, Adam Cole used to be a member of Bullet Club. The Velveteen Dream challenging Roderick Strong for the NXT North American Championship should be happening soon. Next week was announced that Lio Rush versus Drew Gulak for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, to which I'm like, what? That's always a 205 Live thing. What's happening to 205 Live? Nobody knows yet, except it was at the last second canceled during the Friday Night SmackDown taping, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Crazy Evil Io Shirai defeated Mia Yim. Johnny Gargano defeated Shane Thorne in his first match since that crazy 2 out of 3 falls match, like a takeover or so ago. Shayna Baszler had a hell of a match for the NXT Women's Championship with Candice LeRae, but she still beat her to retain the NXT Women's Championship. Like, why? She's beat everybody, like literally everybody else. Just call her up and let Candice have the belt, please. Also, Kushida versus Walter next week on NXT. Pete Dunne defeated Oney Lorcan's tag partner Danny Burch. And then Dunne was attacked by Damian Priest, who's finally done squashing jobbers, and he's going to start taking on the big players of NXT. And then in our main event, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish of the Undisputed Era defeated the Street Profits to retain the NXT Tag Team titles, to which afterwards there was a whole celebration with their brothers Roderick Strong and Adam Cole, and Adam Cole was standing at the ramp, and as he was clapping and all proud of his brothers, some familiar music played, and Tommaso Ciampa came out fully healthy and cleared to terrorize NXT again and try to get his championship back. Remember, he was the NXT championship, or the NXT champion for a good long while, and then he had to relinquish it due to injury. And that's when Johnny Gargano beat Adam Cole, and then Adam Cole beat Johnny Gargano, and then like everybody else. So yeah, he's back to reclaim the belt that he never lost. Also happening at the same time was the premiere of AEW Dynamite. Could have just called it AEW, but it's okay. Started out with Cody, the son of one American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and also the executive vice president of AEW, along with his wife, Brandy Rhodes, who's the chief brand officer of AEW. Stop me if that sounds familiar, like with another wrestling mick promotion of a married couple basically at the Helmsley of things. God, fuck my shitty puns and metaphors. Yeah, start out with Cody defeating Sammy Guevara, who's a young up-and-comer. Then he was ambushed by AEW champion Chris Jericho, who I guess he finally found his AEW championship belt. Then MJF defeated Brandon Cutler. If you don't know who those names are, it's okay, neither do I. Riho defeated Nyla Rose to become AEW Women's Champion, which that's awesome because Riho was actually brought over here by Kenny Omega. They knew each other in Japan. Kenny trained her up some and brought her over to AEW because Kenny's a company man. Also, the main event was a 6-man tag team featuring Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Chris Jericho and Santana and Ortiz. And Kenny and the Young Bucks actually seemed like they had the advantage until one John Moxley came out of nowhere because he heard Kenny was talking some shit about his elbow injury, so they were smashing each other all over the place, and I guess there was no count out there, so the Young Bucks just took on Jericho and Santana and Ortiz, and Chris Jericho ended up pinning one of the two Jackson brothers. I'm not entirely sure which. And then after that, Jericho started attacking them, and then Cody ran out to help the Young Bucks, and then Sammy Guevara came out and kicked Cody in the balls, and then Dustin Rhodes, formerly known as WWE Superstar Goldust, came out to help his brother, and then yada yada yada. Finally, former Bellator MMA fighter Jake Hager came out, and for those who want to link together this whole world, Jake Hager was formerly known as Jack Swagger, WWE Superstar Jack Swagger. So this is a pretty good show. I mean, I'm still going to keep watching WWE, but yeah, that was pretty fucking awesome. And then the big one, which is basically ended up like more of a pay-per-view than fucking Hell in a Cell might turn out to be. We'll see about that. Start out with The Rock and Becky Lynch pretty much making fun of King Corbin to his face, and now King Corbin, The Rock called King Corbin a super tough dude in STD. So now King Corbin's going to be hearing that forever. Good for him. And then Becky hit him with some Bexploders and some other moves as payback for Corbin hitting her with an End of Days back at Extreme Rules. Nice to see that storyline have some length to it. And then in 24/7 title news, somebody named Marshmello, I think he's a DJ, he accidentally fell on Carmella, and there was a ref there who did the 3 count, so he became, or she, DJ Mello, which sounds like Carmelo Anthony's possible second career, became a 24/7 champion, and then Carmella pinned Marshmello to get her 24/7 title back. Also, after The Rock and Becky Lynch had their little Corbin STD fest, we had the 4 horsewomen tagging against each other, Becky and Charlotte versus Sasha and Bayley, and Charlotte submitted Bayley, so Becky and Charlotte, who aren't friends, quote unquote, end up winning again, and Charlotte gets a SmackDown Women's Championship opportunity at Hell in a Cell. And also, right after that was a champion versus champion match between Seth Rollins and Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura, aka this match is Fiend Bait. Had Fiend Bait written all over it. After Seth came out, we had a special episode of Firefly Funhouse where Ramblin' Rabbit cosplayed as Seth Rollins. So Bray Wyatt used Ramblin' Rabbit as an example of what's going to happen to Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell. He put him in a little mini Hell in a Cell with Mercy the Buzzard, and then Mercy the Buzzard just like ripped Ramblin' Rabbit apart. This is probably like the 5th time Ramblin' Rabbit has died. It's okay. Rabbit will come back. And then Seth versus Shinsuke got started, and then of course ended in a non-decision because, like we said, Fiend Bait. Fiend came out and scared Seth and hurt him, and with mandible claws and things. Next up was Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens, a ladder match to see who gets fired. And Kevin, as expected, Kevin Owens defeated Shane McMahon, which, of course, doing his due diligence, Kevin Owens got a mic after he got the briefcase and said, "Shane, you're fired!" And there goes the best in the world. Next up was an 8-man tag team match, a very random 8-man tag team match with Braun Strowman, Miz, and Heavy Machinery defeating Dolph Ziggler, Bobby Roode, AJ Styles, and Randy Orton. And then Braun Strowman got into a verbal altercation with Tyson Fury, undefeated boxer of IRL fighting, Tyson Fury. And apparently Tyson Fury has been offered some mic time on Raw, so let's see what happens there. Next up was a lumberjack match between Roman Reigns and Eric Rowan, and it ended with Daniel Bryan playing defense and running interference when Luke Harper decided to show up. So Daniel Bryan hit Harper with the running knee, Roman hit Rowan with the spear, and seems like Bryan and Roman are on the same page, and we're just one step closer to Daniel Bryan's possible inevitable babyface turn. The main event, God, I really don't want to talk about this. Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship, and the bell rang. Brock put Kofi over his head, F5'd him, 1, 2, 3, and Kofi's magical 6-month title reign that came after 2 months of the Kofi Mania grassroots campaign that made the entirety of Ghana and West Africa joyous and proud, just went like that from some roid monster from the Midwest. God damn it. So when Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman was gloating around like that, Rey Mysterio came out with his arm in a sling and brought out his good friend Cain Velasquez of UFC fame, who are former UFC fame, and he pretty much made Lesnar look like a bitch because he is the one that beat Brock Lesnar for the UFC heavyweight championship some years ago in IRL fighting. It was neat, but it didn't really make me feel any better after seeing Kofi's championship be like that. But we're getting Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez for Crown Jewel. So I don't know. Let's see what'll happen with that. So what's it going to be? Is it going to be Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins again for Survivor Series? If Seth Rollins beats The Fiend tonight? Or is it going to be The Fiend versus Brock Lesnar for Survivor Series? Ho ho ho! The Fiend would be permanently over with the WWE Universe forever if he mandible claws Brock Lesnar in roughly the same amount of time it took Brock Lesnar to take the championship from Kofi. Oh, the Fiend could lose every single match after that for the rest of his career, and fans won't care because he was Kofi's Avenger. Oh, please let that fantasy booking happen. Please. So that's what happened in wrestling so far. Time for me to shut this off for now, and I'll tell you what happens with the fucking, 4 matches going on in Hell in a Cell. Welcome back, everybody. Bear with me here. Just got back from a celebration. My dear brother Matt got married, so congratulations to Matt and Savannah. Savannah, welcome to the family. In the kickoff show, Natalya defeated Lacey Evans by using her special signature Hart family sharpshooter. And then when the match was over, Lacey got up and then Natalya gave her her own women's right. And also in the kickoff, Randy Orton just picked a random fight with Ali. Why? Because this card needs more matches. So to start things off, Becky defeated Sasha inside Hell in a Cell to retain her Raw Women's Championship. Roman and Daniel Bryan defeated Harper and Rowan in a Tornado tag team match, which was a brand new stipulation that had only been announced like a couple hours before. And Daniel Bryan just came in for the bro hug. Well, not really bro hug, just a big old hug. So I wonder if we're moving on from the yes movement and going into like the hug movement or something. I don't know. And then we got to the match with Randy Orton and Ali. Randy Orton defeated him, but not without some pretty awesome Ali gymnastics here, where he literally just picked himself up before he could hit the floor off an RKO. It was pretty dope. Sad news, which makes me about as depressed when it comes to wrestling as football is right now. The Kabuki Warriors defeated Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross to become the new women's tag team champions. And I'll take down my Facebook cover photo when I damn well feel like it. The Viking Raiders came out with a mystery partner that was later turned out to be Braun Strowman, facing the OC, AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. And the Viking Raiders and Braun won by disqualification, and then they gave him a good old wallop anyway, because the Viking Raiders and Braun Strowman is like 2,500 pounds of meat castle right there. And then Chad Gable defeated King Corbin as his last bit of revenge, even though they'll probably have a rematch on Raw tomorrow or something. Charlotte defeated Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte is now a 10-time Women's Champion. 10 time. Which means next month there might be a chance that we get Becky and Charlotte for Survivor Series. And then finally, The Fiend unlocked Seth Rollins' dark side, and somehow The Fiend won by disqualification instead of the other way around. So The Fiend is still unstoppable but not yet universal champion. That's your WTLK. Tonight we drank, we fought, we made our ancestors proud.